My very first recommendation is the Old Man of Store hike. This is probably one of the most famous hikes in Isle of Skye, but for due reason. It is genuinely spectacular. I look back at pictures of the view at the top and I'm like, wait, was that actually real? Like, that's not CGI created in some Lord of the Rings movie, but no, it is real. So to get to Old Man of Store hike, it's pretty quick from Portree, which is the main town in Isle of Skye, probably like a 20 or so minute drive. And when you get to the hike, it's gonna be about 2 miles. It took us about an hour to get up there. And once you're up there at the top, it's just spectacular. It's a beautiful view the whole time because there's not too many trees in Isle of Skye. As you're hiking up, the views just get more and more spectacular. Eventually, you'll get to the summit and you just have that beautiful, expansive view of the amazing, stunning rock features. In my head, when I think about my time in Isle of Skye, that is the view and that is the hike that I consistently go back to. And it is very popular, but I think it's 100% worth it and 100% worth going to and making a stop on your trip. Okay, my second recommendation for places that I don't think you can really miss when you go to Isle of Skye is Neast Point. This is kind of feels like you're on the edge of the world. You drive out and there's not really a hike, but there's like walkways that you can go down and you're just seeing this spectacular view at the edge of Isle of Skye. And there's usually a lot of people there, but it's big, so you're welcome to find a place and you'll be able to find a place that kind of works better for you and your group. And it's just spectacular. It makes you feel small in like the best possible way. So I highly recommend that. There's also a lighthouse out there that's really, really stunning and spectacular and just like makes you think like, oh my goodness. There is limited parking though. So for most of these places, there's semi-limited parking. So you really do, if you're going, like have to be super cognizant of like the best times to go, or if you're going during a popular time, just making peace with the fact that, yeah, you might be waiting in the car for a little bit. But my friend and I went and we just kind of like laid there and like soaked it all in. It was a beautiful day when we went. We had like uncharacteristically great weather in Isle of Skye, and I just cannot recommend Neast Point enough. I think it's a must do. My next recommendation is the fairy pools. So these are kind of fun little hikes. There isn't a specific destination with the fairy pools. It's essentially this big canyon and there's little streams that cut through the canyon, and those are the fairy pools, and they are indeed magical, but you can go out as far as you want or you can hike as much or as little. There were a lot of people like swimming in the fairy pools because cold swimming is a thing to do there. Wild swimming, it's also called. We did not have our swimsuits, so we did not get in. It would have been freezing, but that felt so adequately named, like the fairy pools. That's so cute. It felt mystical. And once again, we were there on a really good day and it was just so stunning. Truly, absolutely spectacular. Highly recommend. Okay, my fourth recommendation for things that you cannot miss while going to Isle of Skye is the dinosaur footprints. So there are certain beaches that you can go to on Isle of Skye that during low tide you can see dinosaur footprints. The one that I went to, and I think the one that is the most popular, is called On Coran Beach. I apologize for mispronouncing it. As you can hear, I'm not Scottish. I highly recommend that one. It's near the town of Staffen. You have to go at low tide and you have to be willing to put in the work. Something that I'm so grateful for about Isle of Skye is that there are not signs everywhere. It's very different from a national park. Like, it is a town where people live, and because of that, a lot of the like wild places, like you have to go out and find yourself. Like, you have to do the work for, and that is just so important, I think, because it makes your travel experiences so much better. So I went to a couple beaches that said that they had dinosaur footprints and I couldn't find them, or I was not there at the right time. And I was like walking around and like trying to find them and just having a hard time. And when I got to this beach, it was a lot easier because there were other people around and everyone was so nice. You could line up, you could get a picture with your dinosaur footprint. This is just so cool to me as a history person, like actually seeing a perfect footprint like etched into the rock. It was just crazy. I truly like cannot recommend that enough. And my last like must-do thing on Isle of Skye isn't technically on Isle of Skye, and it's not necessarily a viewpoint, but I think you need to get out on a boat and see Isle of Skye from the water. We ended up going on a puffin tour, and it took us around to some of the neighboring like smaller islands off the coast of Isle of Skye, and it was just spectacular. Part of the reason why Isle of Skye is so stunning is because it is an island and it's surrounded by water. We did the puffin tour in late July, and I'll put the company that we went with in the description of the video, but I can't recommend them enough. We did see puffins. Our guide was great. We saw dolphins. It was freezing, and we wore these like super funny orange suits that kept us warm, and I just felt like an adventurer. Like I just felt like an explorer, and I think seeing the island from a different point of view is really like so spectacular and such a fun way to do things. So I highly recommend, if not a puffin tour, then like a whale watching tour or a dolphin tour. I don't know if there's scuba diving or snorkeling, but that would probably be pretty cool as well. And if you're visiting Isle of Skye, I also recommend stopping and seeing like local restaurants, local establishments, supporting the locals that are so kind to offer up their island for tourists like us to visit. Two restaurants that I personally went to that I wanted to highlight. The first was so good. It's called Bog Myrtle Skye. It's a little cafe, bookshop. It was dreamy. First off, the food and the drinks were absolutely delicious. Second off, it is such a stunning interior, and we were chilly the morning that we went, so we just cuddled up with the fire, and it was just stunning. It was so beautiful. We sat by the window, got to look out. So I highly recommend that. Specifically, their scones are super good. The other recommendation that I have is a pizza place called Pizza in the Skye. We had dinner here actually a couple nights. It was so yummy. I'm amazed at the like really high quality food for a relatively remote place like Isle of Skye. That pizza is absolutely spectacular. I highly recommend. The restaurant that it's in is also so beautiful. Those are my recommendations for things that I think you can't really miss in Isle of Skye. As always, if you're gonna visit, please respect the locals, number one. Respect the nature, also number one. And be kind to other tourists as well. Everyone is just out there trying to create memories for themselves and their loved ones, and just being as kind as possible to the area is amazing. Supporting the local economy, also super important, and just keeping Skye as picturesque as possible for future generations to come. But thank you so much for watching this quick video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for sticking around. Bye!